Welcome to another video on my Raspberry Pi 2 running Ubuntu Linux and also running the robot operating system. Last time I struggled with the question why this photo sensor, actually a photo transistor, is not giving the output that I like. And let me run the software, which means running the node. So as you can see, it says light sensor passes voltage, and the point is that in the code you can see if there's no light it says pass, if there's light on it it says block, and that means that the voltage here should be 0 volts. When I tested this photo transistor using the robo interface, two things were different from here. One thing is that the voltage is higher, and it clearly worked. I also used this flashlight, and it clearly works. And when I use this to shine on this one, well, it dropped to 0. However, now you can see in the lower terminal that it still gives V pass, and that is not correct. So what I can also measure is the voltage actually correct? So I am measuring here on the red, and then we can see that the voltage is about 3 volts, which is correct, 3.3 volts about, and that is completely correct regarding the output of the GPIO. This is really exactly directly controlled by the GPIO, but without light there should be 3.3 volts here on the green connector, and looking at the multimeter it indeed says 3.3 volts, more or less, a bit less actually. Which is consistent with no light. So then we take the torch, the flashlight, shine on it and measure again till 3.3 volts, and that means that this light is not working. While I have tested, it is working. Now the voltage as set on the interface is 3 times as high, about 9 volts. So what is then the threshold voltage needed for this transistor, for this phototransistor, to work accurately? And that is really a very good question. So I will try to find that out. After looking up, searching for properties of this phototransistor, I found no mention of 3.3 volts being too low for it to respond. And while thinking of it and a little bit probing the voltages, I noticed something that well, tricked me, because suddenly V pass changed into V block, and V block means there's light. So I wondered, okay, what did I do that suddenly it finds the light and blocks it? However, the cause of it was that the other end of this line, which feeds the transistor, in other words, this connector, had gone out. So now when I pull this line, this wire, it goes into block. And I put it back, and then I have to put the other end back as well. And now it is back, or should be back, to pass. Which it isn't for some reason, but now it is back to pass, but it also shows that things are not quite as they should be. So first probing again. So alright, this is still 3.3 volts, and this is also 3.3 volts. Well, I haven't done anything and it is in pass. Well, then it, okay, V pass is 3.3 volts obviously. And now it says block, and it is gone to 0, as you can see. I remove the light again, it goes into pass. I put the light back on it. And then I expect it to go to block, but it doesn't. I need to have complete contact. So it is now into blocking mode and passing mode. And once again I measure. It goes to 0 volts. And if you look closely at the multimeter, you can see the needle moving. Now it's in blocking mode. So now, yeah, it is in blocking mode, but I lost contact. So alright, remove the light and shine the light. Remove the light again. So it is kind of obvious that it does work, but I'm not quite happy about it because it takes too much effort. On the other hand, it shows that 3.3 volts is no obstacle, and now it says block, but as you can see there's no light. There's no light on it, so it's not fully to be trusted. On the other hand, I can try if this LED, alright, let me turn the camera a bit, this LED is sufficient for it to work, and I absolutely doubt it, to be honest, because if I press this switch, the light does go on, but to be honest, is it bright enough compared to the torch, to the flashlight? I seriously doubt it. So what do I do? Probably I should take a fischertechnik or another lamp to use with it. And the question is, will it burn as brightly as it does with the full 9 volts? And I can give the answer, no it won't. Anyway, one step further and more to think about. So I was talking about a lamp. Well, this may be obviously a lamp, and I'm going to put it parallel to this LED, and I just realized that this LED is in series with a resistor, but I'm going to let it be that way for now. And in the connectors I put a stretched staple, so just for experimenting, will this work? Right now obviously it doesn't, but let me pull this, press the switch, and it may be obvious that this lamp isn't working at all. So this lamp needs more. Let's see if wait, I made a mistake. I need to put it in here in the mass, and then it is clear that it does work. Does it work as brightly? Maybe, yes. So when I then put this lamp in front of the photo transistor, what happens, if anything? It says block and pass after another. Now it should say something continuously shining in it. So let me try to show how that works, like this. And what does the terminal say? Passing mode, which means it doesn't see a light. releasing the switch and pressing the switch, and unfortunately it doesn't do a thing right now. So will it do a thing when I put this straight into the voltage, into the plus? So let me do just that. Alright. Shining brightly. What does it do? Now it says block. Now the left side terminal, the lower terminal says clearly block. So it senses the light. And previously it didn't do that consistently. So let me turn it back to the way it was before. The difference is 1.7 volts. Which is of course 3.3 or 5 volts minus 3.3 is 1.7 volts difference. And now it says block, but it says also pass. Pass comes through it, so I am afraid, and now I'm putting this back into the mains again. Will I have a consistent block? I'm afraid I don't. So this experiment with a lamp is not very reliable either, unfortunately. So what next? How do I get this working? So with this lamp I can of course completely directly shine into the phototransistor. Does this have an effect? Not really. It still says block and pass, block and pass. Now, although mostly block, I have the impression. But fact is that when I move the power right there into the circuit and I press the switch, that the illumination is a lot less. And no matter how you put it, that is a problem. So right now it's shining directly into the phototransistor, and I guess it is a threshold value, although I can't imagine why that would be. Why would I mean, a light is light, and granted that this LED shines less bright because of that resistor. Now I am surpassing that resistor, but still it says block and pass and block and pass. So what would be a correct solution? Using a different phototransistor, that's going to be very hard because I don't have any. And right now, also quite strange, it keeps saying block and pass, and neither the LED nor the lamp is burning. So I would expect no light is continuously pass, and that certainly is not happening considering the block here. So what is wrong? Let me measure once again. So measuring at the start, this is 0. Whoops. This is 0 and this is 0 as well. But why does this say 0? That should not be. That is strange. This is supposed to be continuous 3.3 volts. And it clearly isn't. I know I'm blocking the light, but the needle isn't moving. So that is obviously not correct. Let me measure here. This is now it is moving to 3 something volts. Well, that is correct. So, still a number of questions. And I'm afraid I don't have the answers right now. What are the exact properties of a light transistor? Which voltage is the threshold voltage? I think I should add specifically this model. I think that's an important thing to know right now. The whole idea of the setup of the circuit is nice, and I obviously can take out this resistor, but without knowing the exact properties and which voltage is needed for a threshold, 3 volts, higher, lower, I think higher, there's no way it is going to be working correctly. So yeah, next thing. By checking the circuit, it really doesn't make much sense. Right now you see in this terminal V block. V block says there's light. Well, this LED isn't burning, the lamp clearly isn't burning, and the needle of the multimeter is solidly at 0. So blocking, yeah, there is 0 volts, but it shouldn't say blocking, it should say pass. So the needle is consistent with the no light, no, with the light, with block. Needle is consistent with block, but the light isn't. As you can see, I have put the red probe to the green connector here. And when I press the switch, it all should change. So there goes. What do I see happen? Nothing actually. Absolutely nothing. So now I've put the lamp really into the transistor. What do I see? Pressing the switch. No pass. Well, it should give block. I release it. So why doesn't this work at all? Alright, let me reposition. So now it is completely straight up. And try again. Now it's no longer at this resistor but really at the connector. Press. Now it should say block. Yeah, and now it should say pass. But so let's take this last look here. No matter what I do, and here you can clearly see when I you can see when I press the switch, there's light, but the needle right here isn't doing a thing. So for now, thank you for watching. If you like this video with new attempt, lamp with it, probes, etc., please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. If you don't want that, I'm on Twitter and on Instagram. Also, for more information and possible donation, please visit my website. And this is obviously going to be continued in some way or another, because I want to have it working and extend and expand it. So for now, bye bye.